Hey, what's up, my little Tapas? How are you guys doing today? Welcome to the Keeping Up with the Kardashian recap, season 2, episode 3. Okay, first of all, let me say this about this season, this episode. This feels like, you don't remember when your teacher told you to write a book report and it had to be 2 pages. So you got the 2 pages, but you double space, you use like New Times Roman and spaced everything out. That's what this episode feels like. It opens up with Kim and Kendall in Milan for the Prada show. I want to know who thought this was a good storyline. I mean, I know it sounded good on paper because I was even like, maybe. But when I was watching it, I was like, are we really watching Kim ordering oatmeal and slowly sipping coffee while her assistant runs around trying to get everything ready so Kim can come and act like she is the fashion house designer? I mean, act like she's the brains, even though your assistant did it. Also, why does everybody the Kardashians work with have to look exactly like them? Stassi had to start looking like Kylie. This girl, Daniela, had to start, like, I don't know. Everybody, Kim's assistant had to look just like her. Also, can I just say this? Is this how Kim, like, because it's giving like an eating issue. Kim is this big, and this is before she turned into half of that. And she's super tiny, super small, she's 2 apples high and super thin. And she's like, I'm not the usual tall, skinny model, so everything doesn't look good on me. So like, we have to go to the men's department. You're saying that you fit so not into, I'm not even, can't talk, so upset. So not into what fashion is that you're shopping from the men's collection. Oh my God. Anyway, let's move on. Kim had oatmeal for breakfast. Good job, Hulu. That 100 million was really good spit. Hold on. So we also get a glimpse into why Kim's so lost without Kanye, and Kanye's trash. But in this narrow thing, you see that Kim really doesn't know what looks good on her, or maybe she does, but she doesn't trust her instincts. So she's like coming out like, do you think this is too much boob? And they're like, no, it looks perfect. Fettuccine. Then you get there's all fake laughter. Ha! And one of the women are like, it's so nice to see white so nice to see nice people, because can people just be nice? And I'm like, Hulu, let's speed this up. Hold on. So now we're in the car with Khloé, Kris, and Corey. 2 things. Kris has really taken this babysitting Khloé thing so she stays away from Tristan really far. But that's what a good mom does, right? When your child is being dumb, you have to step in. But also Corey, the whole conversation happens. Kris is like, oh, this and that. And she's talking, and Corey's just sitting there driving. I guess they told him, you better keep your mouth shut if you want to keep those pink satin pajamas with Air Force Ones on the floor, on the hardwood floors of playoff ticket games. You better act like you know. And Corey's is like, yes, and listen. And she's just going, oh. Anyway, they're literally in the car on their way to buy gummies because Kris's hip has been hurting. I assume this is the operation she had to go in for, which, nobody wants to go in the operation, but Kris, you are about that age that if things start falling apart, they fall apart. Yeah, let's move on. But just to show how fake this is, Kris is acting like this is the first time she's been in a dispensary. Oh my God, what's this? Ooh, smells interesting. And then the girls is like, she's like, I need something for joint pain. And the girl's saying you could do this and this. And Kris is like, oh, I already have some of that. And I'm like, oh my God. If I was a producer, I'd be like, cut. Okay, let's just pretend like this is reality. So then Khloé comes on her confessional. Khloé is sitting there saying that something for mom, but the thing is, she's just petting her hair and looking at herself in the mirror, right? They go back to the shop. The scene spiced up. Corey still hadn't even said a word. I don't think she's allowed to talk. Then Kris being, oh God, I forgot how inappropriate she is, starts talking about medicated lube around Corey and Khloé. And Khloé's like, I'll let you guys have that conversation. And she just exits out. No, please let something happen in this show. So here's the weird thing, right? The total comes to $732, which is cool. Kris pulls out cash to pay the girl. Now, listen, I don't know about you guys, but especially since pandemic, when's the last time anybody has cash? And why does Kris have $732 in cash? Let me find out that there's some Ozark season 1 going on in the Kardashians' house. Why does Kris have that much cash on her? Was that the church's offering? I'm just saying. Let's move on. Anyway, we are back to Rome. Someone get Courtney on the phone. We need you. We need you badly. Now Kim is taking us to an Italian restaurant in Italy. She literally is like ordering stuff, asking what tortellini is. I swear to God, Kim's Instagram feed is more interesting than this. Then she's explaining to us that she's a flexitarian, means that she's flexible about what she eats. Girl, no one cares. Let's move on. So then Kim is sitting there and she's around all her paid employees. And she's just like, it's an explosion in your mouth. Just that deadpan. And everyone's like, oh my God, this is the same. Let's move on. I just can't believe how lame this is and how little Kim's giving. This is a storyline that you're not vegan sometimes. Was it ever even a thing for you to be vegan? Did anybody ever really care? Y'all, let's move on. So then she lets it be known that Pete's going to space with Jeff Bezos. And they're like, well, are you going? And Kim's like, well, I'm going to train, but I'm not going. Like, I remember seeing the Space Challenger and it exploded and we were all crying. And I was like, but it's cool with you for Pete to go. Meanwhile, the point of all this is all of Kim's friends / employees are sitting there looking at her like they hate her and like they have to laugh when she laughs. This is the most boring, dry dinner. Her stylist, Daniela, I think secretly hates her. It's just weird and awkward. And I think it's the energy that Kim's bringing. This is so interesting. And the fact that, what in the world? So then Kim starts bragging about how she calls Kendall, being like, what's up? And Kendall's like, I was asleep, right? And I was like, Kendall, you were asleep. You just didn't want to be at that boring table. And she's like, I've always taken on a motherly role. So I'm going to just make sure that Kendall has really yummy Italian, authentic Italian food. Girl, you're in Italy. The room service is authentic Italian food. What? It's Italy. Everything there is Italian food. All pasta is authentic. What are you talking about? God. Anyway, Kim rolls up with some pasta and ice cream for Kendall. Clearly, she wants the ice cream for herself. She's like, oh, what's that? Ice cream? I didn't even order this. Then Kendall's like, this smells like strawberry. And Kim's like, it's actually coffee and peanut butter. And I'm like, Kimberly, it's giving eating problem. But anyway, they're sitting there. We go back to Palm Springs, and it's Khloé and Kris splitting an edible. I guess that's what you do, split edibles with your mom, right? Kris isn't like a regular mom. She's a cool mom. And we get a flashback to Khloé's original face and her mugshot. Remember when Khloé had to go to jail and Kim was taking selfies in the car? And it was the most surreal thing. The Kardashians were wild back in the day. Anyway, Kris does this really weird thing where she starts to change the subject to Tristan. Out the blue, she's like, I talked to Tristan, and Tristan's really excited about what's going on with the team. Tristan is texting Khloé's mom. Tell me they're not trying to get back together. You're texting Kris about how great you are and you're going to a playoff, and Khloé's sitting there like, right? Okay. But it's weird because it almost seems like Kris is trying to get emotion out of her. I guess Khloé is the new Courtney and you're supposed to carry the whole storyline. Then Khloé sits there in confessional. Can I just say, she has on like this lavender dress. She looks really thin, but that's not the issue. She has on this purple eyeshadow that comes to like right here. And I just want to say that's not the look for her. It literally just brings everything to focus to the center of her face, and Khloé's face needs to open up. I'm just saying. Anyway, she's like, life can change on a dime, and she's forgiven him and she's just going to move on because life's too crazy to hold on to grudges. And I was like, yeah, but any psychologist will tell you that's also not healthy to just let things go without voicing how you feel to the other person. But maybe she has, like, at a certain point, then she starts going into her greatest hits of like, you know, Lamar cheated on her, this and that, blah, 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 blah. To which I say, do you think that might be responsible for the trauma in your mind, or is it all Tristan? Basically, Khloé's saying that every man she's been with has been horrible to her. But that also made me think, remember when Tristan, remember when, what's his name? Courtney said that Khloé and Kim like have a lot in common because they were going through a lot of the same stuff. And I was like, ooh, is Kim an undercover Khloé? I'm just saying. All right, let's move. Okay, so then finally the star of the show appears. We have Courtney, and already there's energy. She's laughing with even her Courtney with like her assistants. I don't know what their exact roles are. They actually are genuine friends. They get along. It's laughing, joking, joyous. It's such a big difference from Kim sitting there like literally on some Devil Wears Prada stuff where everybody's just sitting there scared to speak, right? Courtney starts like, they're like, she's like, what am I going to do? They're like, you're going to play tic-tac-toe of yourself, throw almonds. And Courtney is just being silly. So then she starts talking about the changes her body went through. I think Courtney looks amazing. And she was like, no, like, you know, with the 8 months of IVF, and my body went through a lot of changes, but thank God Travis is like, she said, she was uncomfortable, and Travis was like, but you look so fine, so good. Like, God, you look good. Your butt, everything is just perfect. You know, Travis is like 2 string beans. And usually the skinnier a guy is, the thicker they like their woman. Seriously, right? And she's like, Travis is all about this. And she said she does feel like people are like kind of like trying to play her because she hasn't had the baby yet. And they're always thinking she's pregnant. And she's just like, don't worry about me. Mind your business. Anyway, she makes some interesting thoughts about when she was super skinny. And she was like, it just looks so cringy. She's actually like Kim and Khloé are even skinnier than she was. And she was like, to her, when she looks at it, it reminds her of anxiety, toxic relationships, doing all this stuff. And I said, go ahead and drag your sisters. Because it looks like that's what they're going through. So anyway, they're back in Palm Springs. You know, Kris is tripping off of an edible. They go to Kris's favorite Mexican spot. And then I guess her edible kicks in, and Kris is looking at Khloé and can't stop laughing. If I was Khloé, I'd be like, what are you laughing about? Because the only thing Kris finds funny is Khloé's face. That's it. Mind you, Corey finally says the first word he said all episode. We are literally 30 minutes in, and he says, right. Yo, so then Khloé can't take the hit, and she's like, you know, this is what I love when like my family's laughing and I'm laughing. It's like the fun, happy place. And I'm like, well, that's sweet. Until cut back to the table. Kris is literally taking pictures of Khloé's face and laughing and sending them off. Y'all, Kris is evil. So then we lead up to the moment that Kim's trying to trip. While she was in Milan, Kanye was on with the kids back in Calabasas, texting her, those white glasses look stupid, that orange outfit, And Kim's like, well, you still haven't taken off boots. And I guess this is a flex to let us know that her and Kanye are super tight and they still flirt with each other over text. Now, if you guys live in the real world, Kanye also just committed career suicide, partly to cover for Kim and her SEC things. This is my opinion. And also partly because he is a hate-filled person. But you know what? Let's get back to the recap because my other videos will cover that. All right, let's go. So now we're treated to Kim shopping in some basically what do you call it? The Italian equivalent to Fight Club, where she's looking for stuff for Pete, and all she can do is get like a black and white hat and a pair of sneakers. I guess, girl, Pete needs a lot more help with that. She's talking about how Pete's the best thing ever. Pete's probably on the line like, how long does this charade have to go on? I would say one thing. Kim seems like, I don't know. I thought when somebody was a billionaire, they did cool-ish. The life seems pretty boring. Like, I don't know. Then, I mean, not boring, but like, you're doing stuff that like we all regularly do. And on top of that, you're making it boring. Okay, you know what? She's boring. We go back to Palm Springs. It is Courtney, Corey, and Kris. They are in I guess their Airbnb or maybe their Palm Springs house, right? Corey's finally allowed to talk. He's telling Kris what he wants for breakfast, right? That won't last long. She's probably going to hit him in the back of the head with a spatula if she doesn't be quiet. So Corey's like, are we going to talk about last night? And Khloé's like, I had fun last night. And Kris is like, so did I. This is how you guys sound when you guys have fun. This is just all so fake. You guys are literally even leaving your houses to go on location to film because you don't want anybody to see your real life. Man, if you really want to turn things up, put Tristan in there. Get Lamar to come and do a sit down. Where's Scott? Honestly, I just can't take this. So then finally we see an appearance for Kylie. She's doing a shoot for her lip oils, but her lips are so inflated she can't actually pronounce it. And I'll say one thing, Kylie is literally like a conundrum. Would you completely destroy your face for $1 billion? And I'm being serious. Right now, it looks great on film and in touch-up, but while she's talking in real life, she looks like, but would you do it for $1 billion? I was sitting there the whole time watching her like, would I? Would you? Let me know in the comments. I don't know. It's like for $1 billion, I don't know, but could I be 100 millionaire and keep my faith? It's just to the point of like, Kylie is only 25 and she has so many fillers. And you know, fillers aren't really dissolvable. They say they are, but they don't ever really leave. You guys, oh my God. So then Kylie starts talking about how in the 3 months that she took off from work, she forgot to pose. Girl, you've been posing since you were 14 years old on Instagram. Stop it, Kylie. You've been doing it for a decade. It's like a bike. Once you learn how to do it, you never forget. Also, she says that she's been really spoiled because she can hang around for a baby, the one that's not named. And of course, she's a little Starmy. So, you know, she's just like in her mommy bubble. I think they're trying to make like Kylie, like, you know, Courtney part 2, just like Mama Earth, but And then Kylie is like, you know, I just feel like I have a lot to do juggling 2 companies. You don't run either of them. Kylie Cosmetics is run by Cody. You are just a brand spokesperson. The other one, I don't know. But she says, but luckily I have my mom as a role model because, you know, she juggled having a lot of kids and she did it all. And I said, yes, but did she raise them successfully? I'm just saying, I got to put it out there. Anyway, we go back to Kris. Kris is talking about how scared she is to have a hip replacement surgery. And yeah, I guess that would be scary, but I think wraparound is, I guess this was the filler episode. Next week, it's supposed to be the get your butt up and work episode. And this is all I want to say. We'll pay $100 million for this. You're showing us nothing from their lives. There's no happiness. There's no broccoli king. Do you... All day we look at Kim's Instagram feed and see her in Italy, see Khloé doing this. Like, what the hell? The only bright spots was Khloé and also Kylie too. Kendall, I mean, she's always given the same energy. Y'all, this was a filler episode. Next week is supposed to be better, but yo, I don't know. Every time I watch this show, I think at Hulu, somebody getting fired. Either that, or can you bring some friends on, some guest stars? Do you guys not want to put anybody on? What is going on, y'all? And it's also to the fact of, why are we watching everything so far away? It's like everything played out on Instagram and then you do it. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments and I will talk to you later. Bye.